S.S.S. Vayeira, Tovshin Pei Daled. First thing we want to do before we begin tonight's shir, and we thank everybody for coming to the shir. We know you're here for the shir, and the food is of course secondary, and lots of it. We want to wish a huge mazel tov to Mordechai Brody, who he and his wife had a boy tonight. Mordechai Brody, the international and national Bika Cholim Director of Services, and somebody who mamish gives his leiv v'nefesh to this organization, to this town, to the entire United States, wherever Bika Cholim of Lakewood stretches its long arms. And we wish the entire family, they should have a lot of mazel and bracha, they should have a lot of nachas from this one, and we should be zocheh to share many more simchas together. Last week, we spoke a little bit about the midah of chesed that epitomized Avraham Avinu. When you talk about Avraham Avinu, the first thing that comes to mind, of course, is this midas chesed. And we spoke last week about how great the midah of chesed was in Avraham Avinu, that it set Avraham Avinu apart from even the other avos. Avraham Avinu had a special koyach, a special power, because he had the midah of chesed. There's a pasuk in this week's parsha. The pasuk at the beginning of the parsha says like this: Vayoymar Adonai im no motzasi chen beinecha al no sa'avor me'al abdecha. Avraham Avinu, we know, was right after having his bris milah. Avraham Avinu was sitting outside on a very hot day, and everybody is familiar with what happened, that three malachim, three people disguised as locals, came by to Avraham Avinu. Avraham Avinu said, Im no motzasi chen b'einecha al no sa'avor me'al avdecha. Avraham Avinu wanted to take care of these guests. He wanted to do achnosas orchem. What this pasuk says, there's a difference of opinion of what the Aleph Daled Nun Yud, that word in the pasuk, of what it means. Does it mean my master, or does it mean that we're referring to HaKadosh Baruch Hu? And there's a difference of opinion about what that word means. And Rashi brings one opinion that Avraham Avinu was actually in the middle of speaking with the Shekhinah at this point. He was conversing with the Shekhinah, and some guest came by, and when Avraham saw the guest, so that's what this pasuk is talking about. Unbelievably, Avraham Avinu wanted to attend to his guest, right? Achnosas Orchim, and he asked the Shekhinah. Just imagine, let's try to picture this scenario in your mind. Avraham Avinu is talking to the Shekhinah, and some guests come by, and Avraham Avinu says to the Shekhinah, do me a favor, don't leave. Hang around here for a couple of minutes. I want to go take care of the guest. So Chazal, Masechta Shabbos, Daf Kuf Chav Zayin Omar Aleph in the Gemara, Chazal learned from here, from this episode, that Gedoyla Hachnosas Orchim Yoiser Mikabolas Pnei Hashchina. That Hachnosas Orchim, doing the mitzvah of Hachnosas Orchim, is greater than being Mikabel Pnei Hashchina. And just to say those words, it's unbelievable. Imagine, you're talking to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you're talking to the Shekhinah. Avraham Avinu said to the Shekhinah, do me a favor, hang on, I'm going to take care of the Orchim, take care of these guests. The Gemara learns out from there. Obviously, if Avraham Avinu walked away from the Shekhinah to tend to his Orchim, to his guests, we learn from there, Hachnasas Orchim is greater than being Mikabel Pnei Hashchina. So the obvious question that Nesivos Shalom says is, how is that possible? How could it possibly be that Kabbalas Pnei Hashchina is think about it for a second. Kabbalas Pnei Hashchina is as great a madrega that anyone could have, to converse with the Shekhinah, to have a dialogue, to speak with the Shekhinah. That's the greatest madrega a person could have. And achnosas orchim is greater than that, even bigger than that, especially here, where we know Avram Avinu, he had no idea who these guests even were. They were strangers walking down, I don't know if we call it the street there, but walking down the road, and they're strangers. It's not like Avram Avinu thought he was tending to the Gedolei Adar, regular, plain, old people. Avram Avinu, Achnosas Orchim. Everything stops because of Achnosas Orchim. And the Nesivos Shalom says that, let's say we would want to say that if you have two mitzvahs in front of you, it's a little brisker way of looking at it. You have two mitzvahs in front of you. And the question is, which mitzvah should you do right now? Achnosas Orchim or Kabbalas Pnei Shechina? So let's say you would tell me that if you have those two mitzvahs in front of you, then you have to do Achnosas Orchim. But that wasn't even the case over here. Over here, that wasn't the choice. Avram Avinu was already doing Kabbalas Pnei Shechina. It wasn't like he had two mitzvahs in front of him and he was choosing Achnosas Orchim now out of these two opportunities that he has in front of him. Avram Avinu was in the middle of conversing. He was already talking to the Shekhinah and he walked away. He went to greet and to take care of his guest. Al nosav or me'al avdecha. Don't leave, he told the guest. He turned away from the Shekhinah and he went to the guest to deal with them. He said, wait. He told the Shekhinah, wait until, just please wait until I take care of the guest. So how did Avram Avinu know that you can do that? Avram Avinu, that's obviously a very radical, very big, very strong statement. How did Avram Avinu know that he could do that and turn to the guest at this point? Nesivos Shalom explains that we need to understand what the tachlis of the Bria is. What is the purpose of creation? What did Hashem create the world for? And said to Nesivos Shalom, Hashem created the world for midas ahava and chesed. That's the highest madrega. Hashem wants every person to have midas ahava, to excel in midas chesed. As the pasuk in Tehillim says, Ki omarti oilam chesed yiboneh. The world was built for, the world is built on, the world revolves around chesed. It is the ratzain of Hashem that the world should be built on this foundation of chesed and ahava, of one person loving another person and being ready and willing to do anything for another person. As we know, Rabbi Akiva tells us, "V'ahavta l'reacha kamoicha." What is that? Ze klal gadol b'Torah. V'ahavta l'reacha kamoicha is a klal gadol b'Torah. It's the foundation. It's the fundamental of the Torah. And as we know, on the other hand, also, unfortunately, the second Beis HaMikdash was destroyed because we didn't learn that lesson, because we didn't follow those instructions of Chesed and Ahava. The second Beis HaMikdash was still suffering almost 2,000 years, and Klal Yisrael has suffered so much because we didn't pay attention to that. So we see what a foundation it is, that there should be a Chorban Beis HaMikdash, and almost 2,000 years of tzaras go by, and we're still not going back. Why? Because Sinas Chinam is the antithesis to why and how the world was created. HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the world to stand on and to people should excel in the midah of ahava, midah of chesed, and when you have sinas chinam, it goes directly against that. It shakes the foundation of the entire world. The entire world, as we said, is built olam chesed yiboneh. You have sinas chinam. You talk lashon hara about other people. You don't treat them with respect. You don't take care of your guest. You are going against HaKadosh Baruch Hu's purpose and reason and the building blocks that this world was built on. That machloikis, if there's machloikis in the world, it tears apart the entire world. try not to stick in too much current events over here, but you see now the tremendous achdus that's going on right now in Klal Yisrael. Unfortunately, sometimes we learn our lessons in very, very strange ways that we don't understand. But the achdus, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is telling us that if you're not going to be together on your own, I'm going to make you be together. I'm going to make you be together. That now every Yid understands, and their heart, what they feel for another Yid, what they wouldn't do for another Yid, and how they go out of their way. The building blocks of the world, the Chesed, On, and Ahava. So Avraham Avinu, here in our Parsha, Avraham Avinu knew that lesson very well. Avraham Avinu knew, and he understood, that what HaKadosh Baruch Hu has, the greatest nachas ruach, is when he sees people, when he sees Yidden, when he sees us all get along and do chesed with each other like Hachnosas Orchim. Avraham Avinu knew that even though he was in the middle of conversing and talking to the Shekhinah, but walking away from the Shekhinah at that point is not walking away with chutzpah. You're walking away to do something for the Shekhinah. You're walking away to give the Shekhinah the greatest nachas ruach, the reason why the entire world was built for chesed, for ahava, for talking good about other people, for helping other people. So it's not like Avraham Avinu told the Shekhinah, wait, I'm walking away from you. He told the Shekhinah, wait a second, I'm going to do the greatest thing that HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants to see. Avraham Avinu knew that this is exactly what Hashem would want from him at this moment. And sometimes we have to look at life that way. Life is a lot of moments, one after the other. And when you come to a moment where you have to make a decision, the question you need to ask is, what does HaKadosh Baruch Hu want from me right now? Sometimes it's not always the most popular thing. Sometimes it's not always the thing that will get you the most fame or will look good to everybody else. You have to answer that question every moment. And this moment, Avraham Avinu said, I have a chance to show HaKadosh Baruch Hu that I get it. I understand why the world was created. The world was created for chesed, and by extension for hachnosas orchim. And this is the lesson that the Torah is teaching us here in our parsha. Something for us to take home. That when one is Oved Hashem with ahava, you understand that doing the right thing and turning away from yourself sometimes a little bit, to love other people, to have shalom, to work on shalom, to run away from achloikis, to go away from anything which might bring strife or trouble to Klal Yisrael as one unit, as achdus, you run away from that and you run toward chesed, you run toward ahava, to loving another yid, to doing anything and everything that another yid needs. That is the message that we're getting from the parsha. That is what Hashem wants us to learn. And that's what Avraham Avinu was teaching us. Avraham Avinu was teaching us, it's the most unbelievable madrega. To be on that madrega that you're conversing, you're speaking to the Shekhinah is speaking to you, the highest thing in the world. But nothing comes to giving Hashem a nachas ruach. We can all learn that lesson now, that giving Hashem a nachas ruach, that's what the Gemara is telling us. That gedoyla achnosas orchim yoyse mikabolos bnei Shekhinah. By extension, it's something that very practically we could learn. Something which today's current events, today's everything teach us, that Hashem has the most nachas ruach from seeing Yidden get along. From seeing Yidden be together. From seeing Yidden do things for each other. Not to judge other people. Not to talk negatively, chas v'shalom, about another Yid. And that's what Avraham Avinu is teaching us. Olam chesed yibana gedoyla hachnosas orchim yoiser mikabolas bnei hashchina.